Australia is many things to many people. But whatever your story, we've all been touched in some way by our unique landscapes. Whether you're in the middle of the wilderness,
Oh my gosh.
or in the heart of the city.
In this series, I'll be walking across this country. Breathe it in. Revealing new stories every step of the way.
I come here to get homesick.
Meeting locals and experts.
This is bloody gold.
First Australians. She was taken from her country. And new Australians.
Smile. Beautiful.
Yasu.
Yasu! I'll discover new things about places we think we know.
So this is where you got sent if you were a naughty boy.
Oh my God.
There are some things we can only discover when we ditch the car and take it slowly. This time, I'm travelling to Tasmania, where I cheat a little thanks to an American rock star.
Look at that view!
That is fantastic.
And I visit the oldest surviving synagogue in Australia.
Look at this. So join me. My step counter is going into overdrive, but you can just sit back and enjoy the views. Just stunning. Or maybe you'll decide to follow in my footsteps. I'm Julia Zamiro, and this is Great Australian Walks.
I'm in Nipaluna, or Hobart. And you know, these days Hobart has become synonymous with Mona, the incredible museum. So I thought I would hitch a ride on one of their catamarans. What a classy way to get into the harbour. Once I disembark, I'm going to go on a tour around the city and then hopefully get up there to Kunanyi, Mount Wellington.
Australia's southernmost state capital, Hobart is a city brimming with history and creativity, surrounded by the wild bush, all of which I'll experience on my walk today. I'm starting on Franklin Wharf before heading into Hobart Town and then onto Battery Point. From there, I'll make my way to the foothills of the mountain and walk along the pipeline track to the springs, where I'll hitch a ride up the winding road to the tip of Kunanyi, Mount Wellington. It's a 16-kilometre walk today, with a little help from some friends.
Here we go. Oh, the air in Hobart. You cheeky minx, I love you. I once went to Oslo for the Eurovision Song Contest, and then I had to come back to do a rock quiz here in Hobart, and it had a very similar vibe. There's a Scandinavian feel to the beautiful port here. The hills, all the houses, gorgeous. Also, Sydney to Hobart yacht race, obviously. I've obviously seen it many times leaving Sydney, never been here to see them arrive. But my Auntie Annie was in an all-female crew on a Sydney to Hobart, and her husband was a yachtsperson, a yachtsman. But I certainly am not. I've been on a couple of boats. But I'll tell you this for free, that beautiful Kunanyi, Mount Wellington, I've never been up there. Will I today? Hobart's waking up. People going to work. Not me. Now, the incredible Dr. Douglas Mawson. The greatest story of lone survival in polar exploration. It is pretty incredible. Douglas Mawson led the first wholly Australasian expedition to Antarctica to explore and map the coastal area of the frozen continent closest to Australia. In Antarctica, parties set out to explore with Mawson's group travelling east for 500 kilometres. After losing his travel companion, Belgrave Ninnis, down a deep crevasse with most of their food, equipment and tent, he and his remaining companion, Xavier Mertz, were forced to eat huskies to survive. They did not realise that the toxic levels of vitamin A from the dogs' livers was poisoning them. I mean, what more? Then Xavier sadly also died, and after a heroic effort, Mawson arrived back at base camp only to see that the ship that was supposed to be taking him home, the Aurora, was sailing away into the distance. He was forced to stay there another year in Antarctica at the base camp with 6 remaining men before weather allowed the ship to return. Incredible. And look, the huskies. I mean, really, they were nothing without the huskies and these amazing dogs. Beautiful animals. They just didn't know that their livers were poisonous. I'm in the centre of Hobart, surrounded by these charming buildings, got a very European feel, but there's a rich First Nations history in these very streets and squares, and I'm going to meet someone who's going to take me on a tour to uncover it. Hello!
Hey!
Oh, thank you for meeting me, Nanami.
Thanks for coming.
It's incredible, because we're in the city.
Yeah, right in the middle of Nipaluna, Hobart, right in the CBD, yeah. I really wanted to change the way people look at Aboriginal history and how they see these colonial cities. You can see it's pretty hard to imagine that there's any Aboriginal stories here. So I kind of wanted to change that by reminding people that Aboriginal stories are everywhere, that we are, and that Aboriginal land is everywhere.
Well, this is a walking show, so it's great that we're doing a walking tour.
Yeah.
Where should we head to first?
I think we'll head across the street just into what they call Franklin Square, just there.
Excellent. You lead on.
Okay.
Oh, a bit of open space.
Franklin Square. We're following the footsteps of a group of 40 people that marched here in 1832. So 26 of those people were Big River and Oyster Bay people who are some of the most effective resistance fighters known on our lands. They mounted very, very fierce resistance for decades and decades. They survived 2,200 men combing the island trying to find them. They couldn't find them, so the colony had to move through to negotiation. So it took years for them to even agree to walk in here.
That is incredible.
They finally came in accompanied by 13 of our people from across the island, people like Shukanini, Manalakina, Wurruti, Yumara, my own ancestor Tangna Tara, all walked with a white man, George Augustus Robinson, hired by the British colony here to Franklin Square, which at the time was Government House for the colony. Have continued to occupy this space to reclaim it for our own and tell our stories here. So this is Governor Franklin. The square is named after him, being Franklin Square. His main connection to our people is that he visited Wyberlena, which was a mission on Flinders Island in the Bass Strait. A lot of very sad history there, that all of our people were rounded up and taken to. Him and his wife Jane asked to adopt a young Aboriginal girl from there who they renamed Mathina. They were trying to show that they could civilise Aboriginal people. 4 years later, when they moved back to England, they left her at an orphanage and then back to the mission. So that's the story of Governor Franklin for our people.
He's the one that gets the statue too.
Yeah, so every single statue in this square has Aboriginal stories attached to them, but those aren't the ones that you can see, which is kind of why I feel like I better tell you.
Okay, who's this guy?
Yeah, we won't go to the front of him. We won't look at his face.
We won't look at his face.
No,
I like that.
no, I'll keep my back to him, I reckon.
Great.
This statue is to William Crowther, and it's one of our most inappropriate statues here in the city. So William Crowther was famous for desecrating the remains of Tasmanian Aboriginal man William Lanny. William Crowther actually broke into the Hobart morgue one night and he removed and stole Lanny's head. He replaced it with that of another man. Our people were seen as collector's items at the time, and he actually started a family tradition that was continued by his grandson of stealing and collecting our bodies through grave robbing. So Lanny was desecrated in many ways. His hands, feet and arm were all taken, and his testicles were even made into a tobacco pouch. His skull was eventually found over 100 years later in Edinburgh. But this man went on to become Premier of our state, and they say that it was for his services to the state that this statue was erected. But we know that he's a physical representation of the disrespect shown to our people even after death. So last year, Tasmanian Aboriginal perspectives on this statue were shared officially for the first time through City of Hobart Commission art installations, and this year it was followed up by the council finally voting to remove Crowther from Franklin Square. It's really great.
That is incredible, and so right. And you have your own story about bringing something back.
Yeah, so in 2014, I was honoured to become the youngest of our people sent on a repatriation delegation with another woman. So unfortunately, there are remains of a lot of our old people all around the world that we continue to fight to be brought home. On my trip, I was able to bring back the remains of Nungarika, who was a girl from the West Coast, whose skull was in a university in Berlin that did actually contact us because they wanted to give her back, which is not the norm. But it was great to finally be able to lay her to rest on her homelands.
What a story.
Yeah.
What an opportunity.
Yeah, so no matter how long it takes, we will keep pestering, I suppose, until these things change and our old people are shown the respect that they are due.
Absolutely. Where to next?
We're going to head over this way, back to the other side of that fountain.
Let's.
Okay.
The story that white Australians might think they know about Tasmania and First Nations is Kunanyi. What is the myth behind her story?
Yeah, Kunanyi or Truganini was known to be, the last full-blood Tasmanian Aboriginal person, and that was a myth that was perpetrated by the colony, and they actually used that to get out of any responsibility to our peoples because they knew that they owed something to us, and that is land, and it's also treaty. So they perpetuated that myth to get out of their own responsibility. Most people know today that myth is really outdated and just false.
And false.
Yeah.
And tell me about the PALAWA language. It sounds different to other Indigenous languages. Am I right in saying that? I don't know. I feel like there's a different sound to it.
Yeah, so we've always been a little bit different here in Lutruwita, Tasmania, and that's gone right through to pre-invasion. So we did live alone here for over 10,000 years. So our culture and languages were very unique. So we don't have boomerangs here, we don't have didgeridoo. So all the sort of things that people associate with Aboriginal people, that's not what we do in our culture. So PALAWA is very unique as well. So we're very proud of our language and we've revived it since the 1990s using every piece of our language that has been left for us by our old people.
That is an incredible achievement.
Yes, and today in Lutruwita, Tasmania, our children grow up knowing of us as a people with land, over 23 parcels of land, a language of our own that we use proudly and confidently, as well as compensation for the stolen generation. We were the first state to do that. Every generation that has come before has achieved so much for our people, and our children will continue that legacy as well.
Thank you, Nanami.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful information, and I hope these walks continue.
Thank you.
All right, I'm off this way. Where are you going?
I'm heading this way.
All right then.
See you next time.
I learned so much listening to Kunanyi and her amazing life and information. Honestly, First Nations-led tours, do them here, there and everywhere. Now, off to some more city exploring.
I've checked off a ferry ride and an Indigenous walking tour, but I'm only 1.5 kilometres into my walk. I'm still in Hobart town, and before I head up to Kunanyi, there's one final stop on my itinerary, the old synagogue.
People know that this city has a convict past, but did you know the convicts came from all stripes? In this city is the oldest synagogue in Australia, and it was built by Jewish convicts. I really wanted to take a look. Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Oh, this is amazing.
Welcome.
Thank you. So this is the oldest synagogue in Australia,
Yes.
built by convicts.
Yes.
Incredible. And what does it say at the top?
Wherever I cause my name to be mentioned, I will come to you and bless you.
Oh, fantastic. Shall we go in?
Sure.
Congregation back in the 1800s?
So around 1845, we think there were about 300 Jews in Hobart Town. Our peak was in 1854. It's the highest recorded number of Jews in Tasmania. It was 454.
Wow.
That was our high water mark.
High watermark. What is it now?
So right now, we're looking at the last census showed 386 people who identified as Jewish in Tasmania.
Now, I noticed, Jeff, that you've got an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Baltimore in America.
Right, and how come you find yourself here in Hobart?
So my wife is a lovely Sydney-sider, and she was in America, in Washington, D.C., studying to get a degree, and we met there, and then she got a job at university here, so there you are.
Fantastic, and you followed.
Yes.
That's so great. That's amazing.
So this is our Czech Torah.
And a Torah scroll is, am I right in saying it's your Bible? It's
Yes.
yeah.
That's our rule of law. The Nazis actually kept them in a museum in Prague, and they forced the Jewish people to catalog them. One theory is that they wanted to create a museum for the extinct people. Pretty gruesome.
That's why they're still in pretty good condition, because they were put away. Stolen, but put away.
Yes, so after the war, they were found like in a disused warehouse. There was a group in London that took them for safekeeping. And eventually, over time, they realized they're very important, and they thought as a symbolic gesture to distribute them to synagogues all over the world as a memorial.
That is incredible.
That's in memory of those who perished in the Holocaust.
Amazing. How amazing. When I think of Hobart, I don't think of it as having a Jewish community. For example, you know, I grew up in Sydney and I lived in Bondi, and I was definitely part of that community there, did a lot of babysitting. And yeah, I wasn't aware that, how does it come to be that Hobart has a Jewish community?
Well, we know that there were Jewish convicts on the first fleet to Van Diemen's Land as part of the penal colony. And there were many more Jewish convicts, mostly from the East End of London, that came over on the subsequent decades. Eventually, some Jewish free settlers started to come, I believe, like in the 1830s. And then, yeah, they realized there were a lot of Jews in town, and they decided to build a synagogue.
Who gave the land for this place to be built?
Yeah, so it was a Jewish convict named Judah Solomon. He actually lived in a mansion 2 doors down from here that's still there. It's called Temple House. And at the time, we petitioned the Lieutenant Governor, John Franklin, for land to build a synagogue. And unfortunately, we were told that, no, it's only for Christians to build churches. So then Judah stepped up. He said, you know, I have a lovely garden. You can use it to build a synagogue. And that's where we're standing right now.
And there it is.
Beautiful. Would convicts have worshipped here? Would they be allowed in?
Yes, we have documentation that shows that the Jewish community petitioned the government to allow the Jewish convicts, like say at Port Arthur, to be able to attend services. And it's believed they sat at we have the convict benches that we have here.
Oh, right. So they didn't get a cushiony seat.
No, they didn't get it back. It's a bit more rustic.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you
Yes.
know.
What about this incredible chandelier?
It was locally built, and there are a lot of old newspaper articles that I've managed to find that describe the opening of the synagogue on 4 July 1845, and they gave a lot of details to the chandelier. So it's pretty amazing to think that, you know, we're looking at what exactly they looked at back then.
And for members who might be very observant, how do they kind of get kosher food? Is that available easily here, or?
Yeah, look, I mean, I have the utmost respect for our members that keep those traditions alive. I think they mostly have to keep vegetarian, but they are able to import frozen kosher meat as well. Yeah, so it is challenging. I mean, the supermarkets here, they don't offer kosher items. And we have a lovely man who walks here from suburb Sandy Bay that's about 15 minutes from here. He's been walking here every Shabbat for years, and it's quite a beautiful thing.
Just gorgeous. Thank you so much, Jeff. I'm on a big walk. I'm on the way to the mountain, but I had to drop in and see the oldest synagogue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, I'm going up the mountain, maybe. I love multicultural gems, but I've got to get my step counter moving again. Mount Wellington, or Kunanyi as it's known, is almost 1,000 metres up there.
Oh, I knew that there were some French explorers that came to Tasmania. There's a lot of French words around, but Napoleon? I don't reckon he ever came here, do you?
Actually, Tassie has a long history of French connection, and so many of its names are inspired by French explorers. Freycinet is named after Louis de Freycinet, and Huon is named after Jean-Michel Huon de Kermadec. And I should say, rather than looking to colonise this country, these French explorers who visited Tasmania were on voyages of discovery. Moi? Yes, I'm also on a voyage of discovery.
Look at that! Oh, well, I'm off to the mountain.
I'm just over 10 kilometres into my walk, and I've left behind some fascinating history for the ferns and springs of the pipeline track, one of the many routes that creep up the impressive Kunanyi.
I've been weaving my way on walks like this all around Australia, and I've often thought to myself, can you do this in a wheelchair? I mean, how accessible is it? I'm going to meet someone now who has been thinking about this a lot over the last 20 years. Hi, Tim.
Julia, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Now, that is quite a rig you've got there.
It certainly is.
That's, what do you call that?
A beast.
And
Yeah.
so this is great for bushwalking, as it were.
Bushwalking, the beach.
Everything.
Yeah.
Beach.
Getting to fishing locations, which is important to me.
So, Tim, I've been doing a series of these walks, and some of them they're pretty sort of easy, as it
Yeah.
were, but I'm often thinking, how in the world could you do this in a wheelchair? And some of them you just can't.
Quite a lot you just can't. Where they're boardwalked, where there's good access points, it's fine, but it's the bush. You're going to get hurdles in the way. Sometimes it can just be a single rock might, you know, stop you going further.
Yeah.
That's why an electric wheelchair, especially one like this, is advantageous to getting out of the bush.
Yeah. I've noticed too that, you know, a lot of tracks in parks all around Australia were made a long time ago too. If they're not necessarily going to be upgraded, you can't even think of putting in that upgrade. And sometimes they don't even do that.
That's
they don't
right.
even upgrade it for wheelchairs.
That's right. We've got a local walking track across the river where we live. The council decided that they would have a barrier to the start of the track. Couldn't even get on the track to start the walk.
I mean...
It's just things like that. Sometimes people don't realise what can be a barrier to all abilities.
Well, should we go for a bit of a wander?
Why not?
Let's go. Lead on.
It's pretty good.
Tim and I are off along the Silver Falls track, an offshoot of the pipeline track, which follows Hobart's still functioning water supply system. Along the way, we're being shaded by lush ferns and eucalypts, with natural water features adding a beautiful sense of tranquility. This trail will bring us to the Silver Falls, a site I'm sure will be worth the trek.
There's a lot of water around here, I've noticed.
There
Lots of
is
little
a lot of water.
rivulets,
Yep.
water's everywhere.
Yeah, it's rainforest.
And this is rainforest, of course. It's beautiful. So, have you always been a bushwalker?
Yeah. Well, always from maybe 5 or 6. Started with my grandmother used to take us for walks.
Oh,
yeah,
how lovely.
particularly around the mountain. And my father and mother were both into it. I got sort of back into it in my late teens, early 20s, after various other pursuits. And living around Hobart, particularly in South Hobart, just had access to the mountain, and it was just part of your life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Also mountain bike riding and other
all that.
probably faster thrilled pursuits.
Thrills as well, thrills as well.
Yeah, but yeah, walking's always been a part of my life.
Yeah.
And just getting out into nature and enjoying it.
And what put you in the wheelchair in the end, Tim?
So, an unknown virus, basically.
You're joking.
I got meningoencephalitis, so my brain and brain lining swelled. But they didn't know why, and it got into my spine and miraculously didn't impair my cognitive abilities.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Yeah. And so this is one way with this incredible chair that you can actually try and get a taste of being back out there.
Exactly. Look, I mean,
Yeah.
in the bush.
I mean,
It's awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome. I mean, nature's a thing, isn't it? It's like when I was asking the question about, you know, if you've got a disability, it's not just about the actual movement of getting up here, it's being in incredible surroundings,
It's
you know?
immersing yourself in
Yeah.
in the trees, the coast, whatever it might be.
Losing yourself a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm always fascinated with water, so wherever there's water, be it on the coastline or such as the creeks here, I like to find out what's in there and just look what's happening. Yeah.
So there was obviously a frustration with you of not being able to find any places where you could walk. I mean, after you found yourself in a wheelchair, what did you think you might find when you got out there?
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
of course.
Life was new to me. Through the help of my friends, I was sometimes able to get to fishing spots that I used to, but it was a pretty arduous battle, and it was not something I could do independently.
Yeah. Are you noticing that different parks and wildlife areas are trying to make an effort to get accessibility as part of their attraction?
Definitely, definitely. Places like Cradle Mountain, they're boardwalk most of that now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
the overland track's probably 2/3 of boardwalk. So more and more, they're opening it up to a wide variety of locals and tourists, no matter what their abilities are.
Your wife, Rebecca, started up a Facebook group.
She did. From when we got together, there was no information about where we could go. And we visited a few places, but it was always asking, you know, do you have toileting facilities? Do you have, you know, proper access to your hotel or motel or whatever it might be, or park? So Rebecca started a group that basically allows us to get information and you know, broadcast it to other people that might need it.
Sometimes you have to create those Facebook pages to find out stuff.
Yeah.
What's this one called?
Wheelchair Friendly Tasmania.
Great.
Yeah, we just wanted to be able to provide, well, actually get the information in, as well as provide it.
Yeah, of
so
course.
we get feedback. People say, oh, we've been here. This is worth looking at.
Yeah.
And we do the same.
Yeah. And also, I guess too, it's up to all of us to kind of, you know, lobby our local council or whatever and say, why don't we make this more accessible?
Well, I think with the burgeoning baby boomers getting into that time of life, I think
that's
more
when it's
or
gonna
less,
happen?
yeah.
Look at this.
I know, it's great.
Silver Falls.
Yeah.
And you just can't do this unless you've got a motorised wheelchair, really.
Well,
Like
no.
this. A beast.
No, that's right, the
Yeah.
beast. And we came up here a week or so ago. My father was visiting from Canberra. The kids were with us. It was just such a great, you know, family thing to do.
I mean, that's the thing with that chair. You know, you can kind of go anywhere.
Opens up a world of possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And breathe that air. My God.
Yeah.
All right. I am off to the Springs.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim.
Nice to meet you too.
Enjoy the view.
See you.
It's so great that Tim and so many others can access this beautiful mountain. I'm about to head up the steep hill, and you know what? It looks like it's possible to get lost up here. In fact, someone once did, intentionally. The walking part of my journey is coming to an end. And just up here, I'm going to meet my next companion. It's all a bit rock and roll. I've climbed as much of the mountain as I've got in me today. I've done about 14 kilometres of walking, and I'm here at a rest area for hikers known as the Springs. It's where I'm going to hitch a ride to the summit of Kunanyi.
have anybody take me up the hill, but we're in Hobart. And Hobart is Mona and Mona Foma. And why wouldn't you get the bass player from the Violent Femmes, Brian Ritchie, to chauffeur you up? There he is!
Brian Ritchie is a founding member of American folk punk band Violent Femmes. As buskers in Milwaukee, they were discovered on a street corner in 1981 by the Pretenders and ended up being invited by Chrissie Hynde herself to play a set that night. They shot to superstardom, and 40 years on, despite a few split-ups, they're still gigging.
Brian Ritchie!
Hey, Julia. Big fan.
Big fan. He just said it. I didn't even tell him to. Big fan also. Big fan also. Thank you.
We are a mutual admiration society.
We are, and I'm so delighted that I get to get you as my chauffeur today. There's a lot of musical stuff happen here.
Kunanyi is a hotbed of musical activity. In fact, they even have the organ pipes up there.
Do they? Will we see them when we drive up?
Yeah, I think I'll give you a little glimpse of those organ pipes.
How does a musician find themselves here? You had a great career in America. Why would you come here?
I played here 3 times, and then my wife is a scientist for the American Museum of Natural History at that time, Dr. Varuni Kulasekara. And they decided that they were going to send her to Tasmania to collect insects. So it was not music that really got me to fall in love with Tasmania. It was collecting insects associated with waterfalls.
So you did that with her?
Yeah, I did that. Well, I told her, Tasmania, I've been there several times. They speak something akin to English.
Wow.
I know the dialect. I can come along as a translator. And that's how
a translator. Yeah.
I got my foot in through the door that way.
That's quite a change of pace, though, for someone who is in New York, who travels the world, who tours all the time. The Violent Femmes have an incredible touring, punishing schedule. Is that a change of pace for you to be here?
So I thought, but when I moved to Tasmania, thinking that I was going to be in a semi-retired touring rock star, bucolic kind of environment.
Yes.
But then I got involved in what eventually became Mona, and suddenly my lifestyle spiraled into much higher orbit. After we created a very utopian kind of festival, which has many different styles of music and not having any respect for genre, no respect for fine art versus popular art. So we were able to, really do something which at that time in Australia was pretty unique. But when I saw that we could have that kind of impact, like the first Mona Foma Festival, for example, was in the New York Times. My friends back in New York who thought I was insane for moving to the ends of the earth were like, oh, well, looks like Brian's found something to do down there. So it was a win-win situation.
Look, I'm not going to walk up Kunanyi, but I just thought it'd be good to get a lift up there, and why not get a lift with you, Brian Ritchie?
Well, that's why I brought my car. I would have walked up the mountain, but it would take us many hours.
Should we drive up?
Yeah, let's do that,
That'd
Julia.
be great. This trip a few times, I should imagine.
I've done it a few times, and also in Mona Foma we have had several events up here on the top of Kunanyi.
Oh, performers, singers.
Yep, well, we had Jim Denley, who's a multi-instrumentalist, put together a band that's set up at the Pinnacle in various locations spatially. And then we had the audience basically do a hike and come upon the musicians at different points.
Oh, Brian, that sounds magical.
It was beautiful.
Oh. at that view.
That is fantastic. My house is just over on the other side of the river, but I won't look at it too much, so I stay on
Could you?
the road.
See, this is why I wanted you to drive, Brian, so I can enjoy the view, you see. Great thing you said once, that your philosophy behind being a good bass player is that you listen to everybody else and then you do what's required.
That's right. You're filling the gaps for everybody else.
Don't you think that's a good approach to life in general?
Well, it's a metaphor for life.
Yeah.
I guess, it probably prepared me a little bit for life.
Listen to everything. And then where do you come in? It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't live like that, FYI.
But I've been very lucky to be in Violent Femmes for now over 40 years.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of space in that band. It's only a trio.
Yeah.
Gordon, his guitar playing is very minimalist, which is beautiful rhythm guitar work. The drums are spare, like we don't use a complete drum set. So there's a lot of space, and that's the reason why my style has been so flamboyant, because there's a lot of space that I can't fill.
Oh, it's great.
Look at that view.
Oh my gosh. We're at the top. Fantastic.
We made it.
We made it. Gee, it was touch and go there for a minute, wasn't it?
No kidding.
Touch. Oh, it's got that Alaskan feel.
It's almost as if we're in Alaska.
Thank you so much, Brian.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
And I think if you want the best view,
Yep.
you should head that way.
All right. Around there?
Yep.
Okay. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Don't get lost.
I won't. Oh, he
Don't
says
do
that
anything
now.
I wouldn't do.
How lucky are we? There's no clouds. And I can get to see the view. I can't believe I've never seen this view from up here before. My God. Look, Hobart, I love you. It's as simple as that. Not only do you get this incredible environmental beauty, but people come here because of the arts, music, beautiful things, interesting things, shocking things. And of course, it's a town, a city full of interesting stories. Gorgeous. Top 5? Top 3? Maybe top 3 places I love.